All right, so my internet was down. I think the internet's back up, but I'm not 100% sure. Well, I can get to websites. Am I streaming again? Okay, it looks like I am streaming again. So maybe people join back in, or maybe they don't. But I am going to take that away and get back to it. So, but what I was going to say is there's now a Discord. So if you'd like to join Beyond Code Live on Discord, there you are. Now you can. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with that. But I did use it just now to say, hey, the stream went down. I'll be back momentarily. So there we are. All right, connection reset. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out where I was here. I was looking at some database stuff. Was I looking in here? Yeah, so let's go ahead and this is what we can do. We can say, go ahead and delete. There we go. All right, so I was going to go copy from the user. So if anybody just coming across this is a continuation of it's a continuation of all of them, but there was 37, my internet got cut off, and now I just bumped it to 38 to restart the stream. So we'll see if anybody comes back. Oh, actually, I will. Oh, whoops! Sorry, one more thing I need to do here. Let me try to refresh Discord and just let anybody know that was in there. Except Discord doesn't seem to like it very much when you break the internet connection. Let's see if it'll reload. There we go. All right. And I'm back. There we are. Okay. So, yeah, so I was going to try to find the where not null thingy. Revoked at. It's order by. Let me see, do I have this? I think I do want order by limit 1, offset 0, sure. Let's go back over to session and we'll try to pick up where we left off. So we're going to want some where. First and foremost, we're looking for SID is going to be, I guess, SID. Oh, that's me. Well, actually, this could be a query. So, but if the query needs to have some things, so if not query.sid and not query dot what were we saying, effective fk and not query dot impersonator fk. So if it doesn't have any of these things, then we're going to throw new error. Sure. Well, let's just say bad request. I'm going to go through and make better errors for this again eventually. But for right now, let's just go with this. We don't need any of that. So I think what I could do is say session equals await SQL, maybe. And then what we're going to do, return session. That's a little bit more verbose than it needs to be, but it suits my purpose right now. So we'd also want to say, if not session, then return null. We want this to be an async function. Sure. So we don't want to return undefined. We want to return null. Wait, well, is this going to work? Let me go see here. Not user. So that's find. Oh, hello. Y'all are back. Yeah. So I'm guessing Thilarn, and then I don't know who you were that had joined in before. Well, or maybe you're not back. Maybe you're somebody new. But anyway, I'm AJ. Who are you? What brings you to the channel? Let me know how I can help. Feel free to ask questions. And then I did post, yeah. So I think that you have in the chat the Discord link if you want to join the Discord link. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. Some people can manage all these, a million things at a time. I only have 3 screens, okay? I've only got 3 screens here. So I cannot watch everything, but I watch the chat is primarily what I watch. And we'll see how things go with Discord. Maybe I'll have to start watching that as well. But if you see it here, then I'm seeing it. Anyway, I need to figure out, I think this is always going to return an array, right? Yeah, there it is. Users 0. That's what I wanted. Whoops, what happened? Okay, it's just taking a second. That was all. So if not, let's see, this is going to have to be sessions. That's okay. So if not sessions 0, return null, otherwise return sessions 0. I guess I could do it this way. Yeah, I don't know why I had that up there, but we'll do it this way. Let session equals sessions 0. And then if not session null, otherwise return session. And it's important, we're not returning undefined, we're returning null. We're being explicit. So, and then this here, this find, we could have a find and a get. Maybe, let's just try that out for size and see. So that'd be an async function where the only thing that it looks for is the SID, and then we just return session.find, and then we say SID, right? Return await. I've talked before about why you should always return await, or rather why I always return await, why I think that we should return await. I'm trying to get better at we language. I'm not doing a very good job at it, but supposedly, and I believe this, people that use we language are better at, they're better people. And it's not, because there's a lot of the imperial / condescending we, like, we don't speak loudly. We're quiet in the library. But there's the community building we, and I'm trying to get better at that. Okay, so I'll go into the why return await. It's actually quite simple. It's easier to demonstrate. So let's imagine that this, instead of being just 1 line long, we're 10 lines long. There's stuff going on in this function. And then I realize, oh, wait a minute. Actually, I need to do something else with the session. I'm going to need to add another object onto the session. So let session equal, and then session dot thing equals do more stuff, right? And then return session. Do you see how I just broke my program, other than the fact that it's pseudocode? I won't wait for you to answer because I'm asking you potentially to guess in the dark. I'll just go ahead and say it. But because before, return was returning a value. On the other side of this session.get, you were getting a value. But now You're passing a promise from one side to the other rather than a value. So if we go back and you have return await, when you go to delete the return and do let session equals await session, then your code continues to work. So it's just a matter of defensive coding. If you are always explicit about what it is you expect your code to do, if your code can return a promise, it should always be async. And if you have async code, another one of my axioms is return something or return nothing. So if you're going to return something, then you should return await if it's inside of an async function, unless it's a value. If you're going to return 4, that's fine. But if you're going to return something else, you should await it. And this just keeps the code consistent, it keeps it clean, keeps it predictable, keeps it readable. Somebody else can come into this code and perhaps it's obvious that session is part of a database. So, you just get that it's going to be asynchronous, but you don't have to do any guesswork. You read it and you see await. I know that this is a signal that this bit is asynchronous, and if I want to reassign its value, then I need to keep that await there. Okay. So, and we don't need this. I didn't want that. I wanted this. And I wanted this. Do we want maybe updated at? And ascending. Do we want ascending or descending? I think we want descending. And I always forget whether, is it desk? Because it's ask and desk. Order by descending. Descending means we're starting at the most recent date and we're going down to, that's what we want to do here. We want to find the most recent session that is not revoked. And there really only should be one that matches. If it's an SID, there should only be one that matches. But if we're not matching by SID, if we're matching by effective ID or impersonator ID, then we want to match recent behavior first. And we don't necessarily want to limit by 1. That will happen naturally. So I'm going to get rid of this because if we are limiting by 1, it's happening naturally. Now the problem with that is, let's see here. Let's do limit and offset. All right, so if limit, then SQL.limit limit, and if offset, SQL.offset offset. Otherwise, so this one is one of those rare cases of deserving an else. Well, no. This is what we do. If not limit, here's what we do. If not limit, limit equals 100. And then we always limit. There we go. Simple. And then same thing we can do here. If not offset, offset equals 0. Now we get to be explicit. We get to have less cyclomatic code, meaning fewer branches in the code. So yeah, easier to read query. This is better. Okay. Oh, hello, welcome. I'm AJ. I'd love to know who you are and what brings you here today. And I think if you're looking in the chat, there's still a Discord link there. I'm not checking the Discord. I'm checking what you see here, the Twitch and the YouTube and all that. But we're going to see how it goes having a Discord for, all 5 followers that I have. Well, on the stream anyway. Let's see. Do I want to do this? This doesn't look right. That seems to be just a bunch of white space changes. Something must have gone wrong with the white space there. Okay. Well, so be it. All right, yeah. Let's go ahead and re-add this there. We're going to add the lib session. We're going to add the DB migrations. Okay, and I do need to get to bed soon. So I got to wrap this BZ up. So we're going to go session. Did I just see a comment coming out of the corner of my eye? Linnaean, it's great to have you again. What are you up to tonight? Or yeah. It seems that almost everybody that follows the stream is on the other side of the world. The people that are on my side of the world, they catch it in the morning on the replay. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do. First of all, we need to insert into insert/upsert. I got to go look at some other code again real quick from the code that I already wrote that deals with this. So it's got, do we have user agent? We have a log session function. Yes, that's what I do. So let's see, where's the log session function? The log session function is it's in the login function right before the return, which makes sense. So it is, what do you know? It is, in fact, right here. So we're going to come up with a log session function. We put in the request because the log session function is going to pull out the IP address and the user agent, stuff like that. We put in the user and then effective ID and let's see, identifier type. Oh, so this should, in this particular case, we should just move this down perhaps to here. Let's see, identifier value. Where's that stuff picked up at? So if it's a challenge, then yeah, we should still grab it from there. In all cases, the top identifier, let's see, identifier dot identifier, I think is what I've got. Identifier dot type. Let's make sure I didn't have any typos there. Okay, I've got the log session function. I haven't created that yet. But we're going to keep track of all, if we issue an ID token, if we issue a refresh token, all of those are going to get logged because that means somebody logged in or that we're checking if they can log in again and we're reissuing to them. And then anytime there's an impersonation. Oh gosh. East Coast. Yikes. Well, thanks for not being weak-minded. Yeah, there's all those other people that are going to bed at 11 p.m. their time like complete noobs. Meanwhile, you and me, we're the real rock stars. Mountain Dew and a little bit of water just keeping us alive. Sweet nectar of life. Not water, the Mountain Dew. But water makes the Mountain Dew work better. Okay. Gosh. So I've got two screens open. The one you can't see, and I'm just copying some stuff over from another project. that is similar. The log session function is almost needs to be identical, and I'm going to move this log session probably into the auth 3000 docs. And when I have enough information to solidify auth 3000, I'm going to give it a reasonable name, because auth 3000 is just a little too dorky for me. Or maybe it's just the right amount of dorky, and that's the problem. In any case, okay. Yeah, let's see. All right, log session, rec user session. All right, assign session, strategy, user agent, latest user agent. Wait a minute. Where did this session come from? Log session. Maybe I'm going to have to rethink a couple things here. Okay, so I actually do want this. All right. Okay, so that is the session that I'm going to log. And then I'm going to do UUIDs for this because that's what I'm doing. Did I see something come in? Oh, it rhymes with Andre 3000. Yeah. So the question is, Linnaean, are you getting a late start on your day or an early start on your day? A bit of rap music. So, you know, I got to remember, who was Andre 3000? I think he was in a Gillette commercial or something. I don't quite remember him. I'm just shy of actually remembering him. Okay. Now the question is, so this, when I'm doing this log session, I'm doing a create. But there was also a place where I was going to do an update, wasn't there? I know there was. Okay, where else am I doing the log session? And impersonate. Anytime I do an impersonate, I'm doing a log session. So is there anywhere where I'm doing a session that's an update? Because I thought I was somewhere. Find by patch, log out. Okay. On log out, I'm revoking the session. I think there was somewhere else where I was saying, hey, this is the same session. I'm just going to hit the, if I'm doing a refresh, I think is where I wanted, because are we doing refreshes here? If it's a refresh, exchange, let's see. Where's, do we put a log on this? I don't think we do yet. Okay, so on that one, I don't have it. All right. So, and then session dot JTI, let's see, log session. What am I calling that? So I want to do SID as JTI. Bless me. That's what I want to do. Okay. Let's see what else. So I think this is all good enough. And I guess I don't actually need to do that until I get to here. And then all right. So, and I have the SID. Okay, so that's going to be my create. But I think I'm going to invert that. I think I'm going to take this whole thing. I'm going to move it into session. And then I'm not going to have a log session. Lib session. Maybe we'll call it session.log. Because that sounds less intimidating than session.create, you know? So session.log looks good. And then where's my connects? So we'll do connects sessions.insert session. And we don't, if it fails, it fails. I don't think we need any sort of conditional around this. I think it is what it is. And again, return something or return nothing. A lot of people will return empty promises. Just think about that. Think about the words. Returning empty promises. Ain't nobody want empty promises. Not your mom, not your girlfriend, not the person's reading your code. Okay? Return something or return nothing. See here, I returned something. It's not an empty promise. It's a session object. Okay, I think that's it. I think that'll do the business. All right, so where was my logs session here? So we'll do session.log. And that should do it. Although I don't quite remember under which conditions I wanted to fill out these values because I don't think I'm doing it correctly right now. Hopefully there's a comment over in the other code that I left for myself. We shall see. Log session. Where am I got the log session? The first occurrence of it is right here. And then where's the first occurrence of identifier? Okay. Under the challenge, we set that. Do we set it anywhere else? We set it under credentials. Do we set it anywhere else? We set it under OIDC. So my question would be this. It appears that we set it under all circumstances. Is there a reason? Let's see. So we set it under credentials. So I guess. Okay, let me go take a look. I think what this is intended to be, it's not. This doesn't make sense. It should not be this. It shouldn't be this. This is what is going to go into. This identifier is what we're saying is the primary. So this one here, this is not the primary. This should be the one that's related to this particular session. So I'm going to do, let's see, email is equal to that, or email is equal to that. So we're going to go with email here. And we're going to go with, so, actually this is a little bit, it's going to be upset if that is, So it needs to be email or null because it can't be undefined. So this would be email and email or null. Yeah, that should be right. Okay. So I don't know which one was the nice one and the okay captain because that happened 3 minutes ago and my memory's not that good. I'm rocking the goldfish memory. But I'm sure people that were watching that saw it pop up right at that time, they knew. Wait a minute. Nobody watches these things. No, I already said people do watch them after the fact. Okay. Anyway, so this should work, maybe. Sort of, kind of, in a way. Hopes and dreams and all that. So let's just double check. This is .nullable, right? Nullable. I try to always mark things as nullable or not nullable so that it's clear to me what I was intending. I think strategy is not nullable. Let me go look at that. Oops, session strategy. Okay, so yeah, strategy is not nullable. Okay, so we've got this. And one thing that I was going to do was test without doing all the session stuff if just the exchange was working. And this should be SID now. And then revoke that. Yeah. And then the other thing that we need to do, by the way, who to follow today is Ethan Garofalo. And one of the things that he says that I kind of agree with because it makes the code easier to search and it makes it generally easier to read, makes it harder to auto-generate and makes it a little harder to guess intuitively. But the thing that he recommends is rather than doing CRUD, where literally you are naming, create, get, so create, read, update, destroy. So it might be create, get, upsert, or set, or update, and then delete or destroy or remove, that you name things according to what semantically they are. So we have session.log rather than session.create because this function is not meant to be generically for creating a session. It's meant for the concept, conceptually, logging a session for audit. And so this gives it gives you a better mental model of what we're doing here. And then likewise, we can do session.revoke rather than having a session.update that we update revoked at, having an actual session revoke that we use to revoke the session. And I can put the SID in here. And then I can do, now this is, what is it, affected? Yeah, this is one where if, so we want to take, so update revoked at new date dot where sid. And so then this is something where I feel like I need a helper function for this and that it ought to be included with connects. But if 0 is equal to affected, then return, and we're going to throw an error. And we're going to throw an error of not found. And then if affected is greater than 1, then we're going to throw db error updated too many records. And it seems that there should be some sort of constraint to update maximum of 1, but I don't know what that is. I wonder if there's an update limit 1. Let me just, it would be different between different databases. I'll just leave that there as is for now. Okay. So that seems right. Oh, whoops. Okay, and then we need to wrap this with this one. So this is defensive JavaScript, because affected should be 1. That's how many rows should be updated. But there are some databases that I don't know if the way that the abstraction works for this, I don't know if it's guaranteed that you're going to get the number of rows that are updated. And so I want to guard against that case just in case, because of course it'll pop up somewhere somehow, right? So if 1 is not there, and also you can't count on affected being greater than 1 if affected isn't 0. That's just, you know, this is max defensive coding right here. And I would really, this deserves to be put in its own function as just a little utility that I use in multiple places, because these same bits of code, in fact, I'll leave it there for now. To do make utility function. There's going to be multiple times where I want to check updated at like that. And then we should also have revoked at, let's see, was it, and like where not null revoked at, I think that's how we do it. Is that it? Is it where not null? Let me go check the connects documentation real quick. There it is. And where not, nope, where not null. Okay, and that's an and. Just to make this read better, I want to put it this way, just so it feels more explicit. Okay. So there we are. Now we've got our session.revoke. Feel pretty good about it. I'm going to go into here, and goodness knows I've got about 2 minutes and I need to get off of here and get to bed. So let's see. Session.revoke. And what's it going to be? Rec logout. I'm trying to remember where logout happens. I think all of these have rec.authn.jws.claims.jti. And then we also need to delete the cookie. Log out. Let's see. Where is my cookie deleting logic? Let me bring up my cookie cheat sheet. Where did I put that? I think I put it on the Beyond Code blog. Beyond Code. There we go. I think I put that here. I need to get this actually published on beyondcodebootcamp.com. It's one of those lingering things. But here's my Express Cookies cheat sheet. How to get, do I have how to clear? Clear. Delete. Delete. Interesting. So I'm going to add this to it then. So the way you clear a cookie is you set a new cookie that expires immediately. How to unset / delete cookies in Express. And then I'm going to give an example of that, of course. Let's see, what do we got here? So let's say we've got app.delete. Set max age is equal to, we'll say 0. Expire immediately. Let's just set it to 1. And then set expires to, what is it? And then what we need to do here is say refresh token, and then we need to set it to nothing. We could set it to null. And yeah, we do something like this. I got to double check on that. Where have I got this set up? I was certain I had it set up here. I might need to go check around for res.cookie. I know I had this thing somewhere. Res.cookie. Where else was I using it? I'm a little bit confused because the code that I'm looking at right now definitely should have this. Oh, you know what? I know where I did it. I did it in the place where it ought to be done, which is in the place that's already handling the cookie. So if we look into, let me pull this up a little bit here, but if we look into node modules, pull that out, auth3000, lib, and session. Here we have res.cookie right there. And then this is where we do logout. So set no number. That is how you expire a cookie. How to unset, delete, expire. You do it like this. Boop. And then, so set an empty value. Let empty value equals, I got empty, I don't know if that's more, set the value to delete it. There we are. That belongs in there. Docs. Show how to delete cookie. If you want to unset, delete, expire, / revoke a cookie, you simply set a new one with an already expired date and a junk value. Perfect. Cookie cheat sheet updated, and I don't need to do any of this because it's already done. All right, so I don't need to do anything with the cookie. I just need to revoke the session. And let me double check. Let's look at the Auth 3000 documentation. I think that's actually right here. And let's see what the example logout function looks like. Logout handler. Yep, that's it. Very, very simple. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a test. And help me to not spend more than 5 minutes on this, because I do need to go to bed. I'm not going to get any sleep this week, and then I'm going to be really cranky on the weekend, and you know, la 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 la. So let's see. Refresh. All right. Why did it get an internal error? Okay, what's going on here? Select star from sessions. Oh, because I didn't actually run the migration. Connects migrate up. Got it. All right. So let's see. So this will be UUID, and this will be UUID. Oh wait, why was that? Oh, I know why that was integers. That was a mistake. That was because the example I was copying from was stupid MySQL, which everybody does auto incrementing because it doesn't support proper IDs. And so people fall back to using ints, which is of course a sad decision. Okay, add constraint, foreign key, blah, blah, blah. Deferrable initially deferred constraint, already exists. Okay, whatever. This is one of those things where we're going to have to go down, and then we're going to have to go back up. Okay, cool. Oh, whoops. I have to go back up again. Constraint. Okay, something else. Effective. Oh, I put the references up here. References. But I don't actually want to put that up there. And then this would also be UID, account, FK, references, account UUID. If I did have this in there, that's what that would look like for this one. Okay, let's try this again. Can we run up? All right, cool. Now it ran up. That's great. And refresh. And we get another internal server error. Hopefully it's another one that's easy to track down. Revoked off. This makes sense. So what we want instead, so it makes sense it's revoked off because we never inserted this cookie into the session. So all we need to do is simply, let's see, if we have revoked off, this should kick the logout. I'm going to make an issue for this on auth 3000. Okay. Ability to call logout when auth fails. If the existing cookie is bad from a previous key before session logging is implemented, etc., we should have a mechanism to log out so that it's not stuck in a loop of failure. That makes sense. Okay, so I don't actually want that to say revoked auth. What do I want it to say instead? All right, more importantly, do we have errors.create in here in this project? Do we have a lib errors? We don't have a lib errors yet. That's part of our problem. Okay, revoked. Oh, hey Mike, how's it going? Nice to see you. I'll let you know as well. Where did it go? Oh wow. I started a Discord for the channel because somebody had asked for it. And so I did. So if you want to join in on the Discord, I have no idea what the Discord is going to become or how it's going to be used, but it's there. I know at the very least, if my internet cuts off in the middle of the stream, as it did about an hour ago, then I will post on Discord through my cell phone that's what happened. And then, when I get back on. I am hopefully just wrapping up. I just got a couple of errors that I need to work through. So for this exchange, to-do needs to log out. So unauthorized. That's what I want to put there for now, is unauthorized. All right, but this is no big deal because if there's any sort of error, we just end up not being logged in. So I'll go ahead and click on the GitHub sign in again. And then let's see, it says no token, something went wrong. Okay. No big deal. Let's go find out what went wrong, that there was no token, because there was a token before. Oh. Huh. Forgot to put a JTI somewhere. Well, that makes sense enough, I suppose. Let's take a look at that. This is going to be under lib auth, I think. lib session. Okay, if not session.sid. All right, let's go ahead and try this again. I'm going to refresh. And I'm going to do the GitHub sign in. Something went wrong still, whatever. All right, let's see what this one's about. Datetime parser. Datetime field value out of range. Okay. So I wonder how I'm getting this error here. Ah, it's because in the other one I was using a different database library. That's what's happening. Okay, so here I should just have a date object. So I shouldn't, let me double check on this, but I shouldn't be calling now in lib whatever session. So I should not be calling date.now. Rather, I should be calling new date. I think that will solve that problem. So it should be very, very close here. Unexpected error. It's not your fault. I think it probably was my fault. Let's see. Server error. Oh, good. The login worked. I'm interested. I have several ideas as to why there might be an error there, considering that I've deleted the database. Oh, it's throwing a not found error. So yeah, I just need to get that. I need to get my error library in place so that I have my standard errors. I can throw a not found that's a user. So the way that the error handling works is that if it's not a systematized error, it's considered to be a 500. And so it doesn't go to the user. So in the other projects, what I have is an errors file that has, a dozen-ish errors that are going to be common errors. The unauthorized, forbidden, a lot of them match HTTP status codes. So if they're in the 400 level range for their code, let me try to remember, what is that? For their status. If they're in the 400 level range for their status, then the error passes through to the user. Otherwise, it's considered to be a 500 and it's hidden from the user, and the user just gets, something was wrong. And the reason that this isn't working, the reason it's getting that error, it's trying to do a sync, but I've deleted the database and re-upped the database, and then so the IDs that are related to the database here are not IDs that exist in the database. Still, I should have a better way to go about that, because in the case that the database gets corrupt and it loses data, we shouldn't give users a bunch of errors. So I am going to log this real quick. Okay, I think I want to go to Bliss API actually, and just log this real quick as an error. Oh, interesting. Well, no, I guess it is actually. Is it on the front end? It's on the front end and the back end. Sync. When handle non-existing doc IDs gracefully. If the database is corrupt and gets rebooted, gets restored, the client-side instances of Bliss can have IDs while the database does not have IDs while the database sync IDs while the days no longer recognizes them. This is going to cause sync errors because two computers both need new IDs now. Same documents now. What's the most graceful way to handle this? It's probably to let things be duplicate. All right. So anyway, that one, no real problem there. Yeah, there's not really a problem. And then let's go ahead and refresh. And if I can refresh and I stay signed in, what's the problem? Where's their server error? I don't believe you. There's no server error. Huh. I'm confused. Okay, this is different. This is not the database error. All right, this insert worked, and the update, subsequent update didn't work. But I didn't ask to log out, so why? I'm confused. Sessions, libjs, lib, sessions, what, 54? Throw not found if equal. But I didn't ask to revoke, right? Revoke. Okay, let me think about this. So it's complaining about is we're saying, okay, go ahead and update that session. Okay, when we do a new session, we say take the old one and revoke it. That makes sense. So I guess I'm just going to give this one a pass for now, and we're just going to console.warn, because there may be nothing wrong here. No session found to revoke. Really, this is all we know. Okay. I think that's acceptable. Okay. So what's the problem here? All right, cannot read properties of undefined where? Index 91. Okay, let's go check that one out. Lib auth index 91. Identifier, user.identifiers.find. So if we get this far though, don't we have a user then? Isn't that part of the deal? User.find. Let me go check out lib user, and let's see what find or create looks like. Do we have sub? Okay, so there's some abstraction that I'm putting kind of in the business controller logic here with sub, issuer, localhost. Right? Is that what we're saying? Identifiers, find or create identifiers. And then was find, PVID, and issuer sub. Okay, so I think I just made a little goofo here. So I need user.find, and this should look a little more like this, because I'm not finding it by the user's record ID. I'm finding it by the user's identifier of their subject. Okay, so that's where I made a little goofo. But this means something else too. Or does it? Is that find going to give me the user's UUID? What am I selecting? Oops. I'm getting dot star identifier, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I might want to change this a little bit. Or maybe not. So I need to look at the session logging. I don't want to fix this right now. I need to get to bed. Okay. Maybe this is okay. So let's see. Is there anywhere else where we're using effective ID or such or such? Effective, session effective, off index, effective. Okay. So I think that's okay. That's actually okay. And then we would have to, if we wanted to do this differently, we'd have effective sub and impersonator sub. Because one applies to the user record itself. That's the foreign key. The other refers to the user's primary local identifier. Meaning, in the user's list of identifiers, they have an ID that is a self-issued, which I think I put in there as localhost, but it might make more sense to call that local. Anyway, I don't want to talk about the nuanced details of that right now, but I do want to check and see if that change that I made is good enough. And I still see refresh error. So the answer to that is no, it's not good enough. The question is why? Cannot read properties of null, reading identifier. Okay, so let's figure out how that came to be. Because what select is going on? Bindings for this. Is the right sub going through? Yeah, I think the problem we're having here is this is the user FK. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. Might have to put this down and pick it up a different day because I got to get to bed. I'm gonna try maybe 2 more seconds here. So exchange, where's sub? That's sub. And this is user find sub issuer localhost. That's okay. Okay. User find or create. So I think my user find or create function is not up to snuff. Okay, I think I do need, let me go back here. What goes out in that token? Where does that come from? Let me go find, where does sub come from when we were doing a login? Okay, sub comes from what? Looks like sub doesn't exist when we're doing a login. User.uuid. Okay, it is user.uuid. Okay, so I made a mistake again. Okay, let's look at localhost. Where was that at? Here. All right. So this was correct. Problem is that my find function doesn't currently handle users by UUID because I was only handling login via GitHub and not via even its own tokens. So the find function needs to have a UUID here, and so we got to do some issuer checking. We got to do some if sub, if not user, and email if user, return user. So what I need then is an if UUID, and I might need, rather than a find, this might be a place where it deserves a get function. So if not user and this, okay, type is UUID, identifier is UUID, issuer is localhost. No, there's no issuer. Okay, else if. So now this is starting to look as though it needs a switch statement there. But we'll go ahead and say where where users.uuid is identifier. That should do the trick. Except this needs to be UUID, not PPID. Okay. So assuming this is all good, then now let me go look at the logs again, and then pass or fail, I've got to go after this. And I don't see a fail. Looks like it passed. Users logged in, refresh worked. High five, everybody. We did it. Okay. So now let's whip this. Got way too many whips. Not enough nays. That's the real problem. Whipping without nays is irresponsible, inconceivable. I don't even know what that means. That might be a dirty word. Okay. And then I'm kind of curious, what happens when I hit log out? Does it do anything? Or does it just say logged out? Go delete the session. And then missing or invalid cookie, log out and log in. That's excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to say git commit. Well, do we have any console.logs I need to get rid of in here? That's that. Oh, a lot of console.logs in here. Any new ones that I've added by mistake? Nope. Okay. So let's just say this is a feature. Refresh. Do we get access to it? Well, I don't have this fully fleshed out, but I have it fleshed out enough. We can refresh, we can log in, we can refresh. Yeah, this is good. This is something that I actually should rebase and put in before some of these other changes that I'm working on with all the payments, for example. Except that in order to do that, I got to redate. So that's no problem. I'm going to do one more thing real quick. So we're going to do migrate down, and we're going to do migrate down again. Okay, and then we're going to look at DB migrations as they stand. And we're going to move the sessions to be an earlier date. So we're going to move sessions to be, gosh, it should be all the way back there with the users table, but we're not going to do that. We just need to move it before this day. So this would be, let's just make it 10:08:00. I guess it should be 01. No, 00:00:00. Or my favorite fake date is 13:59:59. That's what we're going to move it to. And then we're going to do npx connects migrate up, and then migrate up. Cool. There we are. And now I can say whip move me up. Let's see, feature, add token refreshing, and log out. And let's push it and call it a good one. So thumbs up if you got them. Oh yeah, thanks for all those 5s. Thumbs down if you don't, because every thumb helps. But if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. There is now Discord, which is linked in the whatchamajig, the chat. It's available in the chat. Discord's for the real-time, real players. Subscribe, hit the bell for personalized recommendations, and you have the best night, day, morning, evening, afternoon, sunshine time nap ever, or whatever it is that you're doing. Adios.